everybody, I'm Brie the Plant Lady, and today I am so excited to be giving a proper introduction to all of you because I know there have been a lot of new followers. So I wanted to start with a little bit of my history. I grew up in southeastern Michigan. I always say smart Michiganders move south. And I grew up gardening. My parents loved to garden, both of my grandparents did. But it was actually because of my involvement in 4-H that I really learned about horticulture. And I never would have known that I could have studied horticulture and gotten a job in this industry if it weren't for the hardworking extension agents that took the time to really teach me. So I'm very, very grateful for all that extension offers. Now, I studied landscape design and horticulture at Purdue University, boiler up. And I actually made my way down to North Carolina as an intern in 2000. And I instantly fell in love with living in Chapel Hill and gardening in Hillsborough. And I was determined that after I graduated, I would move back down here into Zone 7, where I can garden 12 months out of the year. Well, I've been here now 21 years. It's definitely where I call home. I'm currently in my 3rd garden in the duration of time I've lived here, and I've learned so much along the way. And that's ultimately my goal with this channel, to teach you practical gardening advice to make you really embrace the hobby of gardening. It's absolutely not a sprint. Gardening is a marathon, and my goal is to show you how enjoyable it can be to do a little bit every day and really enjoy all of the moments that you spend in your garden being creative, growing plants that you might not have ever dreamed of growing before. So my life as a gardener changed dramatically when I bought my first house in the subprime market, and I was literally just too broke to pay my bills and also go grocery shopping. So I started to grow vegetables out in my front garden, and I got into a scuffle with my homeowner association. Now, looking back on that experience, I'm really grateful that it happened because it taught me a lot, and it's given me so much information to be able to share with other people. But I'll confess, in the moment, I was super frustrated, and all I wanted to do was take that HOA down. But instead, I decided to join them, and I realized that their concerns were valid. So instead of arguing with them, I decided to figure a way around it. And that's when I started to Foodscape. I was inspired by the writing of Rosalind Creasy, who's written 23 books on the subject of edible landscaping. Instead of having boxed beds, I just incorporated all of my favorite fruit crops right into my landscape alongside knockout roses, encore azaleas, hydrangeas, camellias, and hollies. All of a sudden, my HOA gave me the distinction of Yard of the Year. It actually came with a $500 gift certificate to a grocery store, which in that moment solved all of my problems. But I decided from that experience, I needed to share it so that other people could feel empowered through the activity of gardening. And that's actually what led me to write my first book, The Foodscape Revolution. And that completely transformed my career. And since then, I've been traveling all over the country, basically being a cheerleader for gardening and encouraging everyone to grow the plants they love. Now, my second book, I did a deep dive into grains. Grains are an essential part of our diet every day, but most home gardeners have never grown the grains that we eat on a regular basis. I decided that it was high time that we address that, and now I'm completely obsessed with grains, but not exclusively because of the harvest. Grains actually are really important for soil improvement, which is something that every gardener faces as a challenge, especially if you live in a new neighborhood where your soil is completely depleted. So a lot of the way that I garden now is being really conscientious for direct seeding with the real value of improving your soil through the plants that you grow. So as you can see behind me, I've got this awesome cottage garden. Well, these plants not only attract pollinators and look beautiful in the spring, they have deep root systems that are scavenging nutrients from deep below the surface, drawing them up to make available for the next round of plants. And at the end of the season, we'll collect all of this seed, and all of this biomass will get mown right back in place so that none of it gets wasted and it feeds the next round of plants. What I really aim to show everyone through my channel is my genuine enthusiasm for growing plants. I do not claim to be well-adjusted at all. Horticulture is everything that my life is about, and I think that it is something that everyone can take some level of enjoyment from. I really aim to break down some of the barriers and make it not seem like it's too big of a task. I never want to use the W word, so take that out of your vocabulary, because growing plants is truly the greatest thing you can do with your time. And honestly, gardening is the hobby that makes the biggest difference in this world, because every plant that you grow makes a difference, and it makes the world a better place. So I hope you'll join me on my gardening journey, throw out some seeds, and get ready to experience the world of horticulture together.
It's my home.